For the last step, we're going to tackle the exterior photo etch, and we're going to go with this little guy on the side of the upper hull. And you do need to remove some existing material. I'm going to use the hobby knife to start that. Once the bulk of the raised detail is gone with the knife, then use the sandpaper to sand that smooth, being careful not to impact the rest of the area around it. Then, with your sharp hobby blade, you're going to cut the pieces away from the plate, getting as close as you can to the piece. That came out pretty well, but we're going to give it a bit of a file just in case, just to make sure it's as smooth as possible. Then apply some crazy glue to the back of the part. Place the piece on the hull, getting it positioned properly, and maybe use some kicker if you need it, but not always. Go with what works for you. This upper transport emitter is a two-piece element, but we also have to remove kit supplied detail. So what I've done here is I've used a combination of razor saw, knife, file, an assortment of tools to get the best cut. And this is where that earlier blade I was showing you comes in handy for a bit more wide coverage. All the details removed, give that a sand so you can get the whole area nice and smooth and ready for the part. As I indicated, it is a two-piece part. You got the main plate and then the transporter emitter. So you're going to remove both of these from the plate. Sharp hobby knife, cut the connection points on both pieces. If you've cut closely with your hobby knife, as I've said before, you shouldn't need the file, but it doesn't hurt to do it anyway, and I maybe should have said that sooner. So don't be afraid to go back over all the PE parts just to make sure that it's nice and smooth and ready for assembly application. Apply your crazy glue to the base, and then place the upper part. Should be reasonably easy to get that nice and straight given how it's designed. Crazy glue on the hull where the piece is going to go. Go ahead and drop it in and work on getting your placement right. And there you go. Upper transport emitter. After the last two photo etch parts, this is a nice easy one because all you're going to do is remove it from the tree, give it a file if it needs it, apply some crazy glue, and then place the piece on the hull, just like that. There are 4 small plates that go on the upper hull on either side of the dilithium chamber, and for those you do have to remove this raised detail. For that, I opted to use the larger, wider blade, just to get as much coverage as possible, as precise as possible in this small area, and then doing the final removal with the smaller number 11 hobby blade. And as always, give it a sand to make sure it's perfectly smooth. Remove the pieces from the plate. If they need a file, as I keep saying, do that again, just to be sure. Apply glue, in this case I applied to the piece versus the kit supplied part. Drop it on. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And there you go. More warp core detail. There are 2 more plates that go on either side of the upper rear RCS thrusters, but these are a little bit easier because you don't have to do anything but glue them in place. Just like that. This part, 1, 2, 3, and 4, may be a bit more challenging because it's a multi-step process. You have 2 layers of photo etch, so 8 pieces comprising 4 pieces. So, as always, sharp knife, remove them from the tree, file them if you need to, crazy glue, put the pieces together, and I just started lining them up so I had them, left to right in the correct order. If you're worried about placement, Greenstrawberry has taken a step to make this a bit easier for you, and you can temporarily glue this little alignment piece in place, and then start manually adding your raised photo etch pieces. Once those have set, you can then just use your knife to pop off the alignment shim. The final step is photo etch on either side of the rear hull. On the studio model, this looks like it's a connection cover. So you have one on each side. As with every other photo etch part, remove it from the tree, file it if you need to, bend the edges, glue them on, and you have them installed on the hull. And as you can see under the rear observation windows, there is another resin piece. Nothing to do with that. It comes ready to go. Just glue it on. And then you have a complete runabout.